So I got a new segment for you. Before the crisis. So today we're going to talk from the subject, talk before you do. I got a special guest in the house. You don't want to scroll to nowhere. Stay right here. I'll be right back with my special guest. Drummer, give us some. Hey, welcome to Get to the Point with Calvin Berry. Listen, before we get into this video, as always, like, share, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that notification button so you can always get to the point. Man, listen, I got a superstar in the room tonight.
Oh, man, superstar.
I got a superstar, man. I don't know how I got him here. I'm gonna have to pay you a lot of money, man. I'm gonna have to pay him for this, man. I'm so thankful. Listen, this is my brother, my covenant brother. This is my boy. I think we talk almost about every day or every other day. Just chomping it up, talking about the word and just talking about life, talking about current events and different things that are going on. He is so versed in the scriptures. He's a prophet, he's a teacher, and he's a speaker. As a matter of fact, we call him David the Speaker. But your real name is what? David Dunn. He's a done.
I'm a done.
He's a done.
If you know, you know.
Woo, if you know, you know, baby. If you know, you know. So, listen, before we get into the topic of what we're going to be talking about, tell the, I know a lot about you, but tell the audience, give us kind of your bio or whatever,
Yeah, all right. So again, my name is David the Speaker.
David the Speaker.
And David the Speaker, let me tell you a little bit about that, where that name came from. Basically, I want to say a couple years ago. I can't remember exactly, but I was on a search for what my knack or my niche was, if you will.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out.
I know what that's like.
Like what is it that I'm good at? Because one, I wanted to be able to capitalize on that to really put some fulfillment to my life. I just wanted to do something that I love, because I was going at job after job, career after career, and nothing was really satisfying me. And I'm just like, I really would like to go to business for myself, but I'm not sure what I like to do or what I'm even good at. And then, a couple people just came up to me and a lot of different people, and they were telling me, dude, you ever think about becoming a TV show host or a speaker, a motivational speaker or something, or radio, getting on the radio or something. It was you really have a good voice. You're very inspirational. You're very motivational. You should probably, go that way. So I took their advice. I was put some serious thought to it, and I was
Absolutely.
you know what? That kind of is my bag. That's where I'm good. So, David the Speaker is my brand for motivational speaking. Not only that, that's where it's going to start. I have visions to carry David the Speaker way further than that if the Lord allows me to do it in that way. But right now, it is a motivational speaking brand. Now, let me explain something. I am a believer,
That's
believer
right.
first. I am a believer first. I believe in the Trinity. I believe Jesus Christ is my Savior.
You really gotta clear that up.
Now I gotta clear it up because I have to say this because people are like, oh well, he's a motivational speaker and he's a Christian. No, let me make this very, very clear. If you ask me to speak in your church, I'm going to speak about the Bible.
Jesus is going to come up.
Jesus is going to come up. It's not going to be motivational. And may some portions of the Bible are motivational.
Yeah.
But it may not be that way. I'm going to teach what the Lord puts on my heart to teach in that particular moment. So if it ain't motivational, I'm sorry. So I just wanted to make it clear I'm able to decipher between
that's
the
good.
two.
That's good. That's good.
I can
good.
cut off motivational speaking to teach biblical principle.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
I just wanted to make that clear. But
now, do you find that a lot of the motivational speakers that are out now, they don't? A lot of them are Christians. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are Christians. Mm-hmm. But do you think they don't merge the two? They just kind of stick with the one. Is it because of society? Is it because of what we're living in?
I think there's two aspects to it. I think one is, when you get used to doing something, so that's what it's just going to automatically come out of you.
Absolutely.
And like you're doing it without thinking. Yeah. So if I ask a motivational speaker to come and speak in my church without thinking, his message is going to be very motivational, very inspirational.
Absolutely.
Without even thinking. Now, that could be problematic.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, absolutely.
It could be because now I question if you're really taking a moment to hear from God. So, but I digress. I'll leave that alone. So I think that's first. I think that's the first aspect of it. But then I also believe the way the church is going now, a lot of church, it's about motivational. It's about inspirational.
Yeah.
It's about making you feel good.
Absolutely.
All that stuff. It's not. A lot of churches are not preaching hard messages. Not to say every Sunday got to be a hard message. No. Not to say you can't be inspirational and motivational, because the Lord calls us to do that. But it seems like that's what the church is really focused around. Mm-hmm. They don't really deal with some of the hard areas. And even when they do deal with the hard areas, it's watered. It's watered down. It's never to a point where you're really leaving somebody going home and convicted, like, ooh, like I really need to do something about that. Yeah. No, it's I made a mistake, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna get up and keep on pushing forward. So I don't know. I think there's.
I understand. Yeah. I understand. I understand. Because I do think that when I grew up, and you grew up in the same. Like, you was preached hellfire and brimstone. Like it was every Sunday you were going to hell. So you got saved every single Sunday. You got saved every single Sunday because it seemed like that was the only message that anybody could be able to preach. Yeah. So now, which is good that we have a balance that we can be able to preach other things other than hell. Right. But now those things are starting to get kind of dominant.
Yeah. Like, we should always be preaching salvation. I think we're getting away from that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think that's what it is. We're getting away from preaching salvation. Absolutely. Again, not to say there's nothing wrong with preaching the other portions of the Bible. They're there to be taught. It's just, but we should always go back to salvation without saying hellfire and brimstone. Like, you don't always have to.
You don't it doesn't help.
Have to teach that.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, man. But that's We
going down a rabbit trail right now. We're gonna run down a rabbit trail. All right. So, you're married also. Yeah.
Oh yes, I'm married.
Please do.
I am married to my beautiful wife, Shauna. Shauna Dunn. I love you.
Yes.
Always supporting me. If y'all see it, you can see the.
That's right.
Ring on the finger. If I keep looking down, I'm sorry.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm transparent and real. So
it is what it is.
If I ain't looking at you, I'm looking at something else. All right.
I know what's right. I know what's right. I know what's right. All right. So let's get into what we came together to be able to do today. So I call this segment Before the Crisis. And what it is how to be able to handle certain things before you get into a crisis. Because it seems like the times that we live in, there's a lot of crisis going on.
A lot.
So we came up with this. You came up with this idea of this topic. Talk before you do.
Talk before you do.
Now you had. Now, if anybody, how can people get to your podcast? Just put that up there first.
I am on Spotify. I am on Apple Podcasts. I'm on iHeart. If you search Dreamcast, I am there. Dreamcast by David the Speaker. Also, I have the links on my Facebook page. If you're on my Facebook page, my Instagram page, or my TikTok page, I have all those links there, and you can find me all at David the Speaker. Unless you look up on Facebook, it's David Dunn, or you can look up David the Speaker on Facebook too. But you know, if you hit any one of those pages, it will bring you to the link. Where you could either get the Apple. If you don't have Apple, you go Droid. You can do Spotify or iHeart.
Yeah, those are good. Those are great. Those are great platforms.
Yeah.
And I'll also put a link to his podcast down below. I'll try to get all of those and put the link down below so you can be able to get in touch with that. But you did a podcast that messed me up. Well, you did two. You did two. You did the one on anxiety.
Okay.
That was very informative. But then you did a segment called "Am I Alone?"
Am I Alone? Yep.
I was listening to that on the Parkway. We live in New Jersey, and I was listening to it on the Parkway on the way home, and I was like, "This is ridiculous." Because you were giving some real good concrete answers on how to be able to understand, that that you're not alone in some of the things that you're dealing with, whether it's suicide, whether it's depression or anxiety. You was really driving home that you're not alone. But I think we're living, and the reason why I wanted to do this is because I deal with a lot of people that be wanting to commit suicide. And in my prayer time, all of my prayers are for people that are dealing with suicide, that may hit me up on on Facebook or inbox and whatever. Please pray for me. I'm having suicidal thoughts. Please pray for me. I'm about to end it right now. And stuff. And then you can go and you can scroll on like some of these just on Facebook on people that just be like, they'll tell their children, I'm sorry, I did the best I could, and this and that. I'm just like, yo, what is going on?
Like, can we pause? Can we just pause right there because, like, that is a very it's serious.
It's serious.
It's a very serious thing. And I really don't. Sometimes I really don't feel like people understand the severity of suicide. And not even just suicide, substance abuse. I just don't think people really understand the severity. It's very serious and it's very sad. It's a very dark place to be in.
Absolutely.
And we live in a world that's okay to be sad. They tell you it's okay to be sad and to be stuck in your sadness.
Absolutely.
I look at the new generation and it's like everybody wants to see. There was this guy. He was on America's Got Talent. And his whole set was him singing a very, very sad song, and the crowd just loved it. And I'm just like, why? So
sadness is celebrated.
Like they're celebrating sadness. They're being drawn to sadness. Like what's up with that? So I just wanted to say that.
I think it's because a lot of people are sad. I don't know. I think COVID did something to us, by making us be in the home and different things. They say that therapy, the stats on therapy on getting a therapist are like sky high right now.
Right.
I have one.
So
and
I had one.
I definitely have one. I need one. I need therapy and Jesus. So
ain't nothing wrong with it.
Therapy and Jesus. So I think that there is a sense of, since COVID, that this whole it has left something in us about being alone. I don't know what do you think it is? Because I mean, talk from the subject, like when you came up with this talk before you do. What was you thinking about when you came up with that?
So basically, so that was on my heart heavy. So me being a motivational speaker,
absolutely,
or just before I even classified myself as a motivational speaker, I had and I say it's an opportunity because anytime someone feels that they can confide in you or ask you for advice or trust you enough to give them guidance on how they should navigate their life or what they should do, to me that is an opportunity, it's an honor, it's a pleasure, because one, I don't have all the answers.
No.
My life can be messed up too.
Yeah.
I deal with things as well. So for you to say, you know what, like, I feel that you have some answers for me to navigate me through my life. Can you give me some advice? So I don't take that lightly. It's a big deal to me. All the way from starting with my closest friends all the way to complete strangers.
Absolutely.
You know, so I have the opportunity, so I'll revisit that and come back to that. I have the opportunity to give advice and counsel some of my friends, some of my family, some strangers, and they come to me and they talk to me about, having these thoughts or wanting to drown themselves in substances to basically numb the pain. So the idea came from that place where I was thinking about those people, and I'm so happy and glad that they talked before they did. They had the feeling and they reached out and said, hey man, I'm feeling like this and it's strong. I need some help.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, they took my words really wasn't my words. Again, I'm a believer, so here it is. The Holy Spirit's word to be able to counsel them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They took those words and it was able to comfort them in that moment and, stop them from doing whatever they were doing. So I called it that because it's literally what I want you to do. Talk before you make this action. Talk before you do. It also comes from a place I didn't even think about it until now. I was in the military, and that was a big thing in the military.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a very big thing. Once a month, we would have these classes. It would be ACE and it would be SHARP. SHARP was sexual harassment, and then ACE was suicide prevention.
Wow.
And once a month, we were having these classes on how we should, if we experience someone who's dealing with suicide, how we should address them. If they wanna talk to you, reach out, how you can help them, whatever the case may be. So it's not like I'm not aware of these type of situations. So it like I said, it really came from a place where I prefer you to talk to me before you do. Yeah. Before you do it, I would prefer to hear your story. Like if nobody else wants to listen, I'm gonna sit and listen. You need to tell me. Come on, let's have a talk. Let's get a cup of coffee. Let's talk it out, man. Let's talk it out.
Absolutely.
Because I'm pretty sure I can help you, or by you talking, you can figure out a way to manage through this.
I find out that there was one time where I saw a lady that I know from another friend and whatever, and it was on Facebook and whatever, and this and that. She was crying. You could see she was crying out to somebody to be able to help. I find that because I reached out to her and I was surprised she reached back out to me. I said, oh, okay. So I reached back, to her, called her and whatever. I didn't have a number, but I have Facebook. Facebook, what's the name? Man, let me tell you something. I talked to that lady for at least an hour.
Yeah.
But I found that my gift was turned on immediately. My prophetic gift was turned on immediately to be able to speak some things to her that nobody did not know. And I didn't know this young lady. I know her from a friend, and I met her a couple of times, but I don't know her on a personal level. Right. But I found that my gift was turned on immediately. Yeah. Upon her talking and being able to say some things to her, for her to be able to see, God is listening, God is hearing, God knows exactly what the situation is, what's going on. Right. And I was able to talk to her for a whole hour. Then I'm getting out of the situation. my wife is walking by, and I said, "Hey, babe," I said, "Can you pray for the young lady and whatever this and that?" So she sits down in the chair. She begins praying. Her gift is turned on, and she begins to confirm everything that I said to her. So I'm like, wow, man. So but I was glad that she reached out. She actually wanted to talk to somebody.
Right.
And I think that's what the problem is. Like what you were saying, in the Army, those classes were required, if I'm not mistaken.
Required.
Those
Once a month.
Once a month. Those are required. Right. So like, I know we have a suicide. I know we don't just want to stay on suicide on tonight. I know we have a suicide prevention number and different things like that and whatever. But wouldn't it be great if we just had friends and individuals that you can be able to reach out to? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I don't know what we have to do in order to make that happen, because that's why we're talking about talk before you do. But what if you don't want to talk to anybody? What if you don't trust the person? Right. You know, like, I don't know, like speak on that, because that's really, you know,
that's interesting, because you know, that's interesting, because it's funny, because they usually teach that in the class. When a person's to a point of doing something reckless.
Yeah.
When they usually talk about, they're usually looking for someone to talk to. It usually goes that way. They're crying out, they're reaching out. It's up for us to catch the signs. Sometimes they're right in your face with it. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. I need to talk. Yeah. And then sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes it's very extreme behavior, and it's leading up to something that's going to be very detrimental.
Absolutely.
And it's up to us to have almost like a discernment.
Yeah.
Or an awareness to know what's going on. Like, hey, something's off. I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, what's going on with you?
Yeah.
You know, so usually people want to talk when they're to that point. They want to talk. That's interesting. They're looking. They're looking for someone to talk to you. Now, whether they trust you, that's a different.
Yeah.
Different. So, but that's a valid point. And I believe I think I mentioned that on the podcast. I said there are people out here who will talk to you. Even if you don't trust your family, you don't trust your friends. I think I said this on the podcast as well. There is a complete stranger. You may not even know this person out
Absolutely.
that will talk to you.
Absolutely.
But it's just we definitely have to have an environment, or we must create an environment where people are okay to talk about what they're going through without them being judged. And I think we do a bad job of that.
That's bad.
I think people suffer.
Yeah. I agree with that, man.
I think people suffer. They go through. They deal with things, and they're afraid to talk about it with people that they know, because they feel that, if I tell you what I'm feeling right now, or if I tell you what I'm going through right now, you're only going to judge me.
Yeah.
You're not going to even hear what I'm saying. You're just going to judge my actions. And even if you don't say it, you're secretly judging me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that is the issue and the problem at hand. Or you just want to know my business so you can gossip about me.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of that going on. So I don't feel that I have anybody to talk to. I feel like the weight of the world is on my shoulders. I feel that, everybody's against me when it comes to what I'm going through. Because if I try to talk to you, I'm afraid of the response I'm going to get. I'm afraid of the response,
exactly.
So,
and that cannot happen.
Yeah.
That cannot happen. If a person is coming to talk to you, man, about what they're going through and all that, like, we have to get out of a judgmental mode, man. And I think that's the reason. I think that's why the church is failing in this.
Man, don't get me started.
No, I'm just saying. I think this is the I'm just gonna tell the truth here. I think this is where we're failing in this. It's because people don't trust anybody, especially when you know that person is going to judge. If there's some people that you know they're gonna judge me.
They're gonna judge
automatically.
Me.
They're gonna judge.
If I open up my mouth,
yeah.
I'm going to be judged.
Absolutely.
I'm no longer going to be able to serve in the capacity that I'm serving.
Yeah.
I'm no longer going to be looked at as sane or stable. Everybody's going to try to hold my hand like I'm this fragile piece. I may be going through a fragile state, but I'm not fragile.
I'm not fragile. Yeah.
Like
That's
there's a whole. There's a whole. That's a whole book that.
That's definitely a whole book. But I mean, we have to get to the place where people can be able to trust us. You know, when they want to talk. And what grieves me is like when you look on Facebook and you look at these, people that are saying, speaking from a place of
they're suffering.
They're suffering. The comment section is like, "Oh, I'm praying for you." Oh, you got so much to live for, and this and that. I'm just sitting there like, is anybody reaching out to him? Like, hey, call me. Like, I'm trying to call you. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that and whatever. Yeah. We don't have enough people, and I think it's because people think that they're inadequate to be able to talk to certain ones. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it.
You think that's what it is? Because I don't think that's what it is.
What do you think?
I'm gonna tell you what it is.
What do you think?
I think people are selfish.
Ooh.
I think we live in a very selfish world.
Oh, we do.
I believe that people are so caught up in their own story and where they're trying to be, they don't want to give their time to help anybody else out.
Ooh.
I think people are so aware of their situation, but yet so unaware of everyone else's.
Wow.
And I really believe that's what it is. I really believe people like, you're going through, but I'm going through too. I'm going through I don't have time for you.
Yeah.
I really think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I got this going on. I got that going on. Meanwhile, I'm going to pray for you from a distance and, and that's it. I'm not going to put any real work to you.
But to see that the problem with that is, and I think it's because the church is not teaching us this either. That when you not so much ignore what you're going through or ignore your problems, I think sometimes when you put your problems aside to help somebody else, then God can be able to get in your stuff and be able to change your situation around. Because you wasn't selfish in that moment and say, you know what, I need to put aside what I'm going through. When I was talking to because it was two or three people that I reached out to that was whatever this and that. I was going through stuff right there. My wife was going through cancer.
I'm about to say, you still going through
and
some things.
I'm still going through some things. And I'm just still going
Yeah.
through something. But I have at that moment, I'm like, nah, this ain't about me, man. This is about me reaching out and being able to listen. This is spreading the gospel. This is what it means to evangelize.
Let me
and I didn't quote a whole lot of scriptures either, bro.
I'm about to though.
Wait, I know, but I didn't quote a whole lot of scriptures. Yeah. I just listened to what they were going through. Just listened.
Right.
And then my gift was able to be turned on. And I was like, okay.
Sometimes, dude, like, I don't think people realize the power of listening. Sometimes, there's been times that I've counseled people and I didn't say a word.
Didn't say a word.
Not one word. Hey, man, I really just want to thank you. Yeah. You let me get whatever the only thing I said was I asked questions. And how does that make you feel? What do you think about doing next?
Yeah.
They think... I thank you for letting me get that off my chest. Yeah. I really needed to get that.
Because sometimes they solve their own problems by
sometimes
talking
they solve their own problems.
By talking to
sometimes they just need the woosah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, man. So I think we got to remember this about, and I'm saying this because I believe this in the Christian faith. And not that, if you're watching this and you're not a part of the Christian faith, so be it. But I believe that this can carry out in any faith or just any person.
Absolutely.
The Bible says the first and greatest commandment is to love the Lord God with all your heart, your mind, and your soul. Mm-hmm. And the second one,
love your neighbor. Yeah.
Is pretty much is almost as equal as this. Yeah. Love your neighbor as yourself.
As yourself. And Jesus said that's the law, and the laws of the prophets. Yeah.
I don't really think like
we have to put aside what we are absolutely going through. You got to put that aside, man.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
That's interesting.
Love your neighbor as yourself. The only reason why I can comprehend, I had this revelation some time ago. The only reason why the only way I can comprehend someone not being able to love their neighbor as themselves is because they didn't love themselves. So if you're not treating yourself with love and affection and taking care of yourself, you're not going to treat anybody else that way. So that's the only way I can comprehend that you're not.
Or how can I help you? And I can't even help
myself.
I can't even help myself.
So that's the only way I would accept it, and even in that you need to have some real self-care. Self-care is real.
What's self-care look like?
Self-care, the world has a view on it, but my view on self-care is healthy diet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Taking care of your body, so exercising, doing whatever you need to take care of your body.
Yeah.
Strong mental health.
Yeah. And
then it's last, but the Bible says the last shall be first. I think this should be in this order. Your spiritual life.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If you are tending to your spiritual life actually would convict you and cover all those areas if you are really dealing with your spiritual life.
But I do want to say this. I do want to say this because I have to stop you here because I want to correct something. Your spiritual life is not going to take care of everything.
Well, elaborate on that.
Your spiritual life is not going to take care of everything. We have a formula in church, and I grew up this way. We have a formula in church. If you're going through something, the formula of the church is you ain't reading your Bible.
Oh,
you ain't praying.
Yeah, well, that's what I know what you mean. Yeah,
you're not praying.
You're not praying.
You're not paying your tithes.
Right.
You're not giving.
Yeah.
So if you're in financial trouble, all of these different things, I need to question all of these different things.
Right.
And if one of these are off or all of these are off, is probably the reason why you're off.
Right.
But here's where I differ in that. But what if I'm doing all of these things?
Right. See,
and it's still not working. Like that's why I said what you mentioned is really pivotal because you said taking care of your mental, taking care of your body, taking care of your eating, and then also taking care of your spiritual life, which again should be first.
Yeah, your spiritual life will be first because
would be first. Yeah.
I say that because if you're taking care of your spiritual life, if you read your Bible, if you trust God, He can give you a guideline on how to do all those things.
Absolutely.
But it does not exempt you from going through things.
Yeah. Woo! You know what? I think that's what the problem is. Because they equate, if you're not doing those things, if you're not reading, praying, paying your tithes, giving, volunteer work at the church and all, if you're not doing all of these things and whatever, that constitute you actually going through. But if you do all of these things, you shouldn't be going through. Whoa!
No, that's
wait a minute. Whoa!
It's not accurate.
It's not accurate. If I do all of this, this cures depression. If I do all this cures anxiety.
Right.
That's wrong,
it's bro. Not accurate.
That's not accurate.
All right. Let's take it from the Bible. Let's just use that in regular life.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing everything right.
Yeah.
I'm making a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm saving money. I gotta, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do right in life. I'm exercising, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm living a very fulfilled, good life.
Mm-hmm. Job. I'm living a very fulfilled life. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to.
There's a bunch of billionaires and millionaires who are dealing with some deep, dark depression.
Absolutely.
It does not mean it doesn't exempt you from going through things.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
And I think that's what the other things that is besides your spiritual life is taking care of your mental, Sometimes that means getting a therapist. That means getting a counselor,
Right.
getting somebody, and I'm talking about professional.
Right.
See, I grew up when, and I had this mindset before I got, before I decided to get my
We got
therapist.
the end of that age.
Exactly.
I
I grew up, hey,
you don't do a therapist. Yeah,
I got Jesus.
Yeah.
And that's enough. No, that's not, no. Jesus is not enough. Woo! There are times in your life where you need therapy or you may need medication. I'm just saying. Listen, I'm just saying.
There were therapists in the Bible. I just want to let y'all know there were people who were...
Absolutely.
There were people who...
Absolutely.
Had a gift. Listen, there was a gift in counseling.
That's one of the spiritual gifts.
Counseling.
Yeah. Absolutely. Therapy. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when I grew up, there was you don't get no. What you get a therapist for? What you want to sit on somebody's couch and just talk?
Yeah.
No. There's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
No. I realized because I've been churched for years.
Yeah.
I've been churched for years, but then there was things in my life that I could not shake.
Yeah.
I could not, comprehend, and then I could not see within myself. I couldn't see within myself.
Yeah.
I had a low self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't think highly of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that only people wanted me to do, and I still do think this stuff.
Yeah,
I still struggle with this.
Yeah.
That people only want me to play the piano. And that's it.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that I'm good at. I'm not good at anything else.
Yeah.
So when I, getting a counselor really helped me to be able to see some things within myself that I did not be able to see. Now, people can say that, well, you could do that with the Word of God. Of course. But there are times where you need somebody to be able to talk to, or you may need medication.
There's some people who need medication because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be straight up with you. It's either medication or you need deliverance. It's the only way it's gonna work. So if you ain't getting the deliverance from somewhere, then you might need some medication.
And deliverance is a process. It's not a one-time event.
Unless you Jesus.
But to go back to what you were saying about you can do all of the right things and still go through situations. That's the same thing that happened with Job.
Yeah.
He was doing all the things.
He
did everything right. And then God says, okay, he needs to be hit. He needs to be hit.
Yeah.
Not to say that he did anything wrong, but
God didn't even say that. Satan was like,
yeah, exactly.
Well, he's only because,
Yeah.
But, can we deal with that for a second? So for anybody who's watching this right now that's dealing with something and they're going through something in their life, just entertain the thought that you may possibly be like Job. That
it's just life.
God said, have you considered my servant and imprint your name there?
Yeah.
And put your name there.
Yeah.
Have you considered my servant so-and-so? Because that could be you. Now, that's not everybody's case.
It's not everybody's case.
But it could be you. Case. And then sometimes it's just life. Life happens.
Yeah. And I think that with the story of Job, that's interesting because his friends come along and they say, well, the reason why you're going through what you're going through is because you did something wrong.
Right.
Like there had to be something that you did in order to make God angry like this.
Right.
In order for it to be able to happen. Be
careful of friends like that.
You got to be careful. You have to be careful. That's why it goes back to what we was talking about as far as who to be able to talk to.
Right.
Now let's talk about that for a minute. Like, how do you know who to talk to about?
Sometimes, yeah, man. Sometimes that's tough. Again, I'm not. Let's clear something up too here. I'm not a therapist.
No,
We're not.
No.
I'm just speaking off life experiences here.
Yeah.
But I think that's a tough one because I feel that, and I'm only saying I feel because I don't know it to be a fact. So this is my personal opinion. I feel that that can be a trial and error.
Ooh, it sure can be.
You have to.
It sure can be.
People, like, nobody's gonna, unless it's rare. I'm not gonna speak in absolute. So, but it's very rare that people are dealing with intense feelings in their life 24/7. Like, every issue that they have is this major, intense issue. I'm in deep depression. I'm wanting to commit suicide. I want to follow up with it. It's very rare.
Yeah.
I want to drown myself in substance abuse, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It's very rare that people are dealing with moments that intense. So, I guess you can test the waters by... You have small things that you're going to go through.
That's good.
And you can
I like that. I like that.
I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to see how you respond.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you coming from a judgmental...
I know when I deal with something serious, I can't deal with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't. I love you. You're my friend, but you're not going to be able to understand, and I can't take you judging me because I'm already judging myself.
Exactly.
That's another thing that... Let me deal with this.
Wow.
I'm going to deal with this because...
Wow.
I come from a place, so let me give you a little bit of my testimony. I got serious. I still have. I just haven't had an outburst. I have serious anger issues.
Yeah, I know.
I have a bad temper.
I've seen it.
And
I've seen it.
He says he's seen it, but I'm telling you, it's not like it used to be. Like, it hasn't been to a point where it's like... I haven't had a serious outburst in a very, very long time, but this is my struggle. I have a temper.
Absolutely.
It is my struggle, and I believe that God has delivered me over the years. I haven't
absolutely
dealt with it on the level that I've dealt with it before.
Absolutely.
But that was my issue, and I'm mentioning this because one of the things that was very difficult for me, I could not stand my anger issue. It bothered me. It destroyed me when I had an outburst. I was very upset with myself.
Yeah.
I judged myself.
Myself. That's good.
So if I'm coming to you...
Yeah. Absolutely.
Trying to get advice from you...
Yeah.
On help. How to deal with...
Help. Yeah.
On how to deal with myself and anger, and you're judging me...
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed with judgment.
Absolutely.
Not only am I judging myself, and then
that's real.
It could be very frustrating.
That's real, yeah.
Because now I'm like, I'm already judging myself. What you're saying to me, I've already said to myself. I'm not looking for you for this. I'm not looking from that. I'm looking for genuine help. I don't need you to tell me where I'm wrong.
Absolutely.
I've already acknowledged where I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the times when it comes to dealing with people when they're making mistakes, because people go through depression and they go through these moments when they make mistakes and they also don't feel like they have anybody to talk to. So I think another way we can approach people who are dealing with their own mistakes or dealing with their own characteristics that they don't like about themselves, when they're dealing with judgment, a way that we can approach, because how do you even know that they're there? Do you understand what you did was wrong? Ask that first. How does that make you feel? How do you feel about the way you acted?
Absolutely.
Let's discuss that first.
Absolutely.
Let me get a clear understanding of where your head is first.
Yeah.
Because that can redirect. Now, if you're in a place where you have no conviction about your actions or anything, then okay. Okay. Hey, man, this was wrong. I need to tell you this so you understand.
Yeah.
But if you're in a place where you have conviction about yourself, you have conviction about your actions, okay, man, listen. It's okay. Like, cool, you understand what you're... Let's try this this way this time. You know, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that.
Right.
You don't need that from me.
Right.
You're doing it for yourself.
Right. I need to take you from an angle of now getting you to help and talking to you about the situation. Now you have acknowledged, that was definitely wrong.
Wrong, right.
Now, how do we redirect? Like, how do we restore such a one in the spirit of meekness?
Right.
Like, how do we get you to be able to change and redirect, certain situations?
When I got help for my thing, because of my anger issues, listen, man, this is real. I'm being very transparent. Because of my anger issues, I dealt with depression. A lot of the times, I was angry because, like you, I dealt with being overlooked, feeling overlooked. I still deal with
it. Yeah.
I just had a prophet tell me in church. He was like, "You feel like you're overlooked, but God is not overlooking you. People are not overlooking; they see you. It's just not, So I still struggle with those feelings, but dealing with those feelings of being overlooked, I had low self-esteem. I didn't think I was. My beautiful wife tells me all the time. She's like, you're so handsome, and I don't know how to respond to that. To be honest with you, I'm learning how to respond to that. She's like, you're quiet when you get. I'm sorry, this is coming out now. I'm gonna have to talk to you later, babe, because this is therapy for me right now. It's therapy because I'm realizing I don't know how to respond to those ones because that was one of my struggles. I wasn't used to hearing that I'm handsome. I heard. I'll clarify. I heard it from adults. And I'm like, well, you're only saying that because I'm a kid, or you have to say that. I'm not really taking that, but my wife tells me so, and it's just dope to me to have someone who thinks that I'm handsome, but and beautiful,
Yeah.
But coming from that place, I went through a dark period in my life, and I was there, and one of the most helpful moments were. And I'm going to give props. She may see this. She may never see this. I don't know if she will. But I had a counselor named Miss Turan. I had her in my elementary school. Then she left the elementary school, and I ended up having her again in high school. And when by the time she saw me in high school, she's like, wow, David, you really made a one. I was still, really turned around. I was still dealing with, I still had some outbursts. But she was like, wow, this is not you're not the same. You really came along. And that was an amazing thing. But one of the greatest things I can say about Miss Turan definitely dealt with some areas because she had the chance to say, hey, why are you responding in this way? What is causing you to do this? Why are you, to find out that what really is happening to me and a lot of where my anger comes from is because I bottle things up. I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about it, yeah. I'm the same way. I do have to, because that's something that my wife has talked to me about because she always says you always keep everything inside,
right?
And it's because I don't like outbursts, so like that's why I just kind of just be like, okay, let it go and this and that, blah blah blah. But my wife is like, nah, you gotta talk about it, like she'll say something,
right?
Whatever, but I don't care if it's anger or whatever. Say something,
right?
Get it out, so that way, I don't bottle it up on the inside,
right?
I mean, do you have that? You feel the same way? Like,
I don't feel the same way now because, like I said, it got even deeper. First, they figured out that I bottle things up. They're like, well, okay, let's deal with why you bottle things up. These are questions that you're not judging me now anymore.
The root.
You're trying to find what's causing this.
The root.
I know, acting in your anger, the way you're responding is wrong. You know that already.
Yeah.
Let's figure out why you're responding in this way.
Yeah.
So we can deal with that. Okay, so why are you bottling things? I feel like nobody hears me. Yeah. I feel like nobody wants to listen to me. I speak. People speak over me.
Yeah.
I don't have the time to open my mouth and let out what I need to let out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes one of the things I deal with now, I stutter and I jumble on my words. Mm-hmm. So
me too.
I get frustrated with that, especially if I'm trying to rush it out because I feel like you're about to speak over me. Mm-hmm. So instead of dealing with that or instead of going through that, I keep everything bottled up. And then all of a sudden it just boom, I can't keep it bottled up anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
now because they figured out that, okay, you bottle things up because you feel like you don't have the space to speak. Now we're going to focus on, I don't care what you're feeling right now. I don't care how you're feeling. You're going to talk about it. Speak. And I'm going to give you the space. I went through anger management. And that's what happened. When I got mad, they gave me the space to speak.
Yeah. That's
and
good.
then
That's
after, once I've got comfortable speaking, little by little, during that period of getting comfortable with speaking, they also taught me an effective way to communicate my feelings.
Yeah.
So I'm not coming off so aggressive or I'm not coming off so mean. I'm accurately and effectively explaining how I feel. And I'm still learning that. I'm still learning that.
Absolutely.
And it's now to the point where now I have to talk. Because if I don't,
that's not a good place. That's not a good place.
And the reason why I haven't had an outburst like back in the day, I'm telling you, I've gotten angry before. People have witnessed my temper, but it was never to the point like back in the day.
Like it was, yeah.
And the reason why is because I have a space where I can speak. I'm surrounded by friends and family who let me express myself.
Absolutely.
And they don't judge me and they understand me. And if they don't understand me, they're like, I don't get it. You know.
Keep talking,
Keep talking, explain yourself.
Explaining, yeah.
So
absolutely.
That's very important as well. And surrounding yourself with people that you can really express yourself with.
That's good. That's good too. Like surrounding yourself with people that you can, because it's really hard nowadays to be able to find some really good friends. Like it's really, really hard. It took me years to get to where I am now. Now I have 3 people that are in my life. You're one of them. But 3 people in my life where I can be able to pick up the phone and be like, yo, I need you to talk me off a ledge.
Right.
Like, I never had that before. But then it was my fault too because I never really opened up to anybody too.
Sought it. Yeah.
I never
have to seek it.
Yeah, have to seek it. I never really opened up, but I had to get to the place where I'm like, Calvin, you're going to have to, and it had everything to do with men. I had a problem with talking with men because I grew up without a father, and whatever. My father came into my life when I was, I think, maybe 10, about I think 12 and whatever. He's a good dad now, whatever. He's a great father, but I didn't grow up with any kind of men, so I had a resentment when it came to men. So now, like, I had to learn how to be like, hey, you gotta trust somebody. Like you can't go throughout your life because I got big trust issues, man, like huge. But I had to get to the place where I'm like, yo, you gotta trust somebody,
right? And
I did what you suggested. I put little stuff out there. Let me give you this one. Let me see how you respond to that,
right?
And then when they responded different, I was like, oh shoot,
right?
Okay, all right. Well, let me give you this,
right?
And they took it well. I was like, oh, I think I got something. Yeah. And then I said, well, let me give you the big one,
right?
And I gave him the big one. And that was the one that was like, yeah, I got a friend. I got somebody I could be able to talk to.
Yeah.
But it took a process. It took a long time for me to be able to get like that. Do you think that people just have trust issues? Like, when it comes to people, because that's what we're talking about. Like, we're talking about talk before you do. But how do you talk to somebody you don't trust? Like, do you think that's what it is, or is it something else? Maybe I'm missing it.
No, I think people have trust issues. Trust issues that is deep. It's very deep nowadays.
It really is. It really is.
It's very deep nowadays.
It really is.
And for good reason. I can't even say it's not for any good reason. There have been multiple of things over the last 50, 60 years, 100 years that have occurred to people that have caused them to not want to trust.
Absolutely.
And I
totally agree.
in this country alone, let me speak in this country alone, we have a media who likes to play on that mistrust.
Yeah.
They will highlight it and put it in the spotlight. And it causes people to not trust anymore.
That's a bad place.
And
yeah,
to be completely honest, like it's really another trick to turn people away from God. Because in church, this is running rampant in the church too, and I don't necessarily agree with it. I understand it to an extent, but I don't necessarily agree with this message. I haven't heard it so much lately, but it is rampant. Like they were doing you almost heard every preacher. I can't trust you. I gotta worry about myself and blah blah blah. You can't cross me. I ain't going. You think I spend all whatever blah blah, but you double crossing me. And the Bible doesn't call us to act that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really doesn't.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that we should put all our trust in men. Our trust should be in God.
Absolutely.
But in order for us to be efficient on this earth, there has to be a level of trust in men.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And to deal with that, I mean, the only real way that I know how to deal with that is you have to first learn how to trust God.
That you might be on to something there.
You gotta,
like you might be on to something there, man. That may be the root of the issue is that you don't really trust God.
People don't really trust God because if you trust, like, here's my ideology with this. I think this is what my wife makes fun of me. She's like, "You're such a social butterfly. How do you learn how to trust people?" But the thing is, if I truly trust God for who He is, God is not going to lead me to people that are going to harm me, or if they are going to harm me, God's going to make me aware of that.
Absolutely.
If I really rely on God and trust God, there's discernment in that.
Yeah.
He gives me discernment to say, okay, nope, you probably need to put that person at a distance. They're not in your best interest. This person, you pull them in close. This person, you could put them about right there. You keep them kind of close. Like, you can navigate on who's in that inner circle, that outer inner circle, the outer circle, and then people who are not in the circle at all.
Absolutely.
You know, like, absolutely.
That's so true. Yeah.
So I really believe that now if
because sometimes you can trust a stranger more
than someone you know.
Than somebody you know. Absolutely.
I want to try to deal with this carnally, and not. I would like to try to deal with this carnally and in the non-spiritual world, because
that's good. That's good.
It's not to say that I'm being outside of this. Is honestly, first, that's the best answer I can give you spiritually. Yeah. It is spiritual.
Yeah, it is spiritual.
It's spiritual. That's absolutely the best thing. Yeah. But if I'm going to try to deal with it, and I try to deal with things because outside of that, because I want to try to get to people where they are. So if I try to deal with that in a non-spiritual light, the only way to trust people is to trust them. The only way to get out of that space of not trusting people is to trust people.
It's trust people, yeah. Taking the risk.
You have to take a risk.
Yeah, taking the risk. Yeah. Yeah. I had to do that. Yeah.
You have to take a risk. Absolutely. And you have to allow yourself. And like I said, there's friendships, relationships, it's trial and error. Yeah. Nothing is absolute. There are nothing is it's trial and error.
Relationships, I like that. I'm going to put that. Relationships are trial and error.
It's not absolute. There are few. Wow. There are few and rare incidences where God has just aligned you. Yeah. Like, exactly, it's just like, boom. Yeah. This works.
Yeah.
This was meant to be.
Absolutely.
One of those rare occasions are, you getting married to someone. Yeah. Sometimes, and even that, sometimes it's trial and error.
Trial and error, yeah. Absolutely.
Sometimes you got to date multiple people before you get to the person that you're truly.
Absolutely.
So there's rare occasions where like it's like, oh wow, this was divine. Like I can't.
Yeah.
You can't argue with that. That's divine. We're supposed to be connected.
Absolutely.
But for the most part, it's trial and error.
Wow.
I have to give you a little. You give me a little. We see how we manage with that. I give you a little bit more. You give me a little more. We see how we manage with that.
Yep.
And then that's how it builds. You're building. You guys are each put. Let's look at it as a foundation or a wall. We're both putting bricks here, and we're building something here. And then we're testing it too.
You're testing it. Absolutely.
We're seeing if it sets and we're testing it. And if we break through it, then we know it doesn't work. Okay, guys, start over. Sorry, it hurts. But you got to put in time and effort. You have to, and I think that's the problem. People don't want to trust people because they don't want to give time. They don't want to give their emotion to it.
That's so true.
They don't want to give. They don't want to sacrifice that. And in order, everything comes with a sacrifice. How are you going to love your neighbor as yourself? You have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Everything comes with sacrifice.
Everything. Absolutely.
So people, and that's why I say people are selfish. They don't want to sacrifice.
That's true. Yeah, I don't want to waste my time. That's
right.
Because that's the big thing now. I don't want to waste my energy.
But do you remember?
Oh, wait a minute.
But do you remember when church was rampant with that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. I don't want to waste you got preachers that be like, I don't want to waste my time with you. No,
why am I going to waste my time and my gift on you and blah, blah, blah? Yeah,
that's selfish.
If you preaching that, I'm telling you, you can hate me or...
It's selfishness. It's selfish. It's
wrong.
It's wrong. You got to listen. I talked to, to a person a couple of days ago that said she don't even have access to her pastor. None. I was like, dang, is that what we doing now?
I got a question for all the mega churches. So if anybody watches this and you got a mega church, I got a question for you. We're getting so sidetracked, but it's okay.
It's rabbit trail.
It's okay. I just got a brief question. Well, it's not really sidetracked because, like, if this was really in place, you could really deal with some things. But you can deal with. You can have the topic talk before you do. It's not. So it's not really up. But I have a question for mega churches. Do you have small groups?
Yeah.
If they can't get to the main pastor, is there a pastor of a group that they can get to?
Yeah, that's big. That's big.
If you're a mega church and you only got 10 pastors, I got a problem with that.
That's true.
If there's only 10 pastors on your leadership, you got thousands and thousands of people. You should have hundreds and hundreds of pastors.
Because that's the Moses mindset as far the Moses setup is to have multiple people that can be able to take care of those situations. That's what Moses' father-in-law was telling him. Hey, you're gonna burn yourself out.
Jethro.
Jethro. You sitting there, you taking all these cases and different things like that. You're gonna burn yourself out. You gotta find some men out there that can be able to help you and be able to navigate, and they can take this and they can take this, they can take this, and then the big stuff they can be able to bring to you. But these little things, people can be able to take care of that. If you're in a mega ministry, and it's another thing I would say, because you have to be relevant to the times. If you know that that suicide is on the rise, then you got to get somebody in your church on a weekly basis or whatever to
dealing
be able to dealing with that specifically.
They need to be praying.
Again.
They need to be
the praying, reading, paying your tithes, and this and that. That's not the cure for everything.
No, man.
That's not the cure. You got to be able to have these things in place because there are certain people that are going to come to your ministry and they're going to want to commit suicide. They're dealing with depression, dealing with anxiety, dealing with low self-esteem. Like, you got to have these things in place. That's why I think you said the small groups are really, really, really important. That's a great tool. That's a great tool.
Listen, man. One of the things you brought it up a little bit earlier, COVID, right?
Yes.
And I think I brought it up in my in the
podcast. Yeah,
podcast.
absolutely.
I think a lot of churches missed it in COVID.
Yeah.
There was something very, very important that we missed it. Now, I'm not... Listen. I'm not coming at y'all. I know you got pastors that watch this. Okay? So, I'm not coming at...
No.
Because what I'm about to say, you might feel some type of way, and I don't mean it in that way, so please don't feel some type of way. Understand my heart. But I believe that, and if this is you, please understand that this is coming from a place of love. Like, and I don't have all the answers. I know I'm not right. I'm not even a pastor. I'm just a young brother just trying to live out their faith.
I hear you, man.
But please understand, this is coming from a place of love and a place of correction. If all your focus, after we've just came out of a 3-year or a 2.5-year, 3-year pandemic where people were trapped inside of their homes, if all you could come out of that, if all that comes out of that is y'all need to come back to the church, it's off. It's wrong. Wow. I'm not going to say it's wrong, but it's off. Yes, there is an importance. There is very important. Yes, people need to come back to the church. The Bible is very clear about that. It is not the church per se, but it is very clear about do not forsake the assembly of saints.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we need to, if you missed it, if you did not create small groups, if you did not put leadership in place, if you did not go through your congregation and pray about certain people in your congregation to say, hey, that person has a leadership quality, that person has a leadership quality, that person has a leadership, they are well versed in the word, they know their word, if you know, you didn't pray and ask, hey God, I need to bring in some people who I didn't see before, but I need to see now.
Absolutely.
Because we're getting to a time, small groups will be not only necessary, but it may be the only.
Yeah, especially now because people ain't coming back in the building.
Bro, it may be
people.
They don't want nothing to do with the building. First of all,
I speak to a lot of people that don't want church anymore.
They're done,
and you can't convince them. You can't convince them that they're like, no, I'm not doing church. I know a couple people right now. Right. I'm not doing church.
I'm not doing it.
I haven't been back in 2 years. I'm like, jeez, like 2 years.
So understanding, right? Exactly. So understanding that the Assembly of Saints is not confined to the four walls of a sanctuary.
Yeah, it has to be. It could.
Your sanctuary could be at home.
Right. It could well be those small groups that people could be able to talk, especially now. I'm telling you, we're getting to, and listen, the Bible speaks about this. There are other countries that are already dealing with that. I'm telling you, in America, we missed it. I feel it so strong, and I keep saying it. We missed it in America. We missed it. There are countries even now that they have to have services and small groups in secret. They have to hide. Absolutely.
It's like almost like a little a church cell. Quiet. They're doing it discreetly because their lives are on the line for this.
Absolutely.
Don't y'all know that America is in that route?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going that way.
Absolutely.
It's right next door. Canada is right next door to us. Absolutely. Check them out.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to that.
It's going there.
Yeah. The whole world.
To realize, to really have the understanding and to really realize that, first of all, the small groups are necessary. And if I'm not if I'm not assigning pastors in place in their own communities or to keep contact with a certain amount of members in the church, maybe 5 people, maybe 10 people, you need to be responsible holding a small group throughout the week with these people. Yeah. Seeing where they are mentally. Reaching out to them, covering them in prayer. This is your job. You are now pastor. You're in charge of those people. I have now giving you the authority to take it. God has given me the authority to give you the authority. Right. We'll deal with the broad stuff, but you need to be dealing with the because if we have stuff like that in place,
a lot of
people will have a safe place where they can go to.
Yeah. instead of having to go to the church to
The
hear,
talk before
to hear
you
the
do
preacher,
initiative.
to hear the preacher,
To hear the preacher.
to hear the preacher.
This might
because
be.
because the preacher is only going to give a perspective, a biblical perspective.
It's biblical, and it's going to be very broad.
It's going to be very broad. Exactly.
On a Sunday morning, I can't deal with
that's good.
the intricacies of what you're dealing with.
Now, David, I see this because there are, and I want to make this disclaimer. There are churches that have small groups.
Yeah.
The only problem is I only see that. I'm sorry to say this. I only see that in the white churches, in the Caucasian churches.
Big ups to you guys. Love
y'all. Y'all are doing it.
Man.
Y'all doing it. Like you go on a predominantly white congregation. Man, they don't have Bible study anymore. A lot of these, I don't even see Bible studies no more.
There's a local
Everything
church.
now is just small groups.
It's a local church that I got the opportunity to meet with one of these guys. They're having online Bible study on Zoom. Every week.
Yeah.
And they got people in Africa.
Yeah.
Jumping on sometimes, just joining their.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
Why are we not doing this?
Well, I do think I think African American churches don't trust people in their churches. I think that's one of the reason is you got to deal with the root of it because you can't constantly think, well, if I put you in a small group over here, you're gonna start a church.
Right.
That's not what. No. When you go to these predominantly white what's the names? A lot of them are not even pastors, bro.
Listen,
LeBron, they're regular people.
Let's pause right there. No, I'm giving you the authority to start a church.
Hey. Yeah.
Yes, this is your little church.
Yeah, this is your little church.
And and it's almost, see, like, there's so many pastors out here that they want to be apostles and they want to be bishops. That's it.
But but that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna do that, that's fine. If you want to be an apostle, that's fine. You feel like God has called you to be an apostle.
So be it.
So be
but
it.
You'll understand that's what it is.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's not about a big chain. It's not about wearing a cassock. It's not about wearing your red and wearing your white and walking around with a briefcase or having somebody walk with your briefcase.
They
Bro,
still walking around with briefcases?
No. The what's the names are walking around with them now? The armor bearers. The armor bearers.
They walk around with briefcases now?
Briefcases. They're walking with their briefcase. Like, that's not what this work was about.
Man,
it wasn't for you to be sitting in a big old chair and your chair is taller than you. You sit there like this the whole. Come on, man. No, it's the work that needs to be done. Yeah. Until we realize, like you said earlier, that we're failing. We failed.
We missed it, man.
We missed it. And I think we did, man. I think we did. And I'm not saying we have all the answers.
I'm not saying that we
don't have all the answers. What we're seeing, dealing with, because we deal with people,
right?
You know, what we're seeing is that we did kind of falter on, you know, the whole thing. And there's some churches that caught the vision and was like, oh, we need to do this immediately. Or,
on a weekly
nobody's
basis,
coming to Bible study.
Yeah.
You're going to do Bible study. You're going to do Bible study.
Right.
You're going to do Bible study.
Right.
You're going to do somebody. You're going to do.
Right.
And everybody will report to me on what's going on. Blah 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 blah. Right. I encourage you. This and that. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Y'all go back out and do this. I think we're going to have to do that because again, there are people, as we wrap this thing up, but there are people that are really seriously hurting out there.
Hold on, let's get to the point. Get to the point.
I was going to get there. What I was going to ask you was,
okay.
What's your get to the point?
What's my get to the point?
What's your get to the point?
Okay, so my get to the point. This is dope. I want to get to the point.
He's stupid.
So I'm excited. I'm just excited. All right, so let's get to the point. The point is, I really believe, first, with everything that we discuss, we really need, as believers, I'm gonna deal with two sides of this.
Yeah,
okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
As believers,
we have to,
we need to create a space.
That's good.
Where people are able to speak to you without judging you, without you judging them. Let's not forget you're a sinner saved by grace also. You have your dirt.
Take heed lest you fall.
Take heed lest you fall. let he who without sin cast the first stone. There are things that you're dealing with. There are things that you've done. There are things that you are doing. So let's not be so quick to judge others when they are coming to us for advice. They're coming to us for help. They're coming to us for counseling. Let us rely on the Holy Spirit to really give us the wisdom, the words to speak or when not to speak.
You know what I was just getting ready to say? Because you may not necessarily have the answer. You may not necessarily, but you can be able to point them in the right direction who may have the answer to that. I think that's really important.
It's very important.
Don't
feel like you have to have all the answers.
Not at all.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't either. Yeah, I can't help you with that, but I know somebody.
Somebody that can.
I know somebody who can.
That's right.
I think we need to, as believers, because this is, if you're watching, it's 9 times out of 10 you are a believer, and for those who are not believers, this applies to you too. Let's create a space where we're not judging people when they need help, advice, and counseling. That's first. And then second, if you need help. Yeah. If you're struggling, if you're suffering. Oh man, I got chills.
Absolutely.
If you're suffering, if you're dealing with something, if you're going through, if it feels like the world is too heavy.
Absolutely.
Everything, you want to end it. No. Talk before you do. There are people who care. There are people who want to listen. They may not be in your immediate circle now. You may have to go search for them. But there are people out there who can help you, who will listen, who will talk to you, who will counsel you, who will be your friend. You might meet somebody who will change your life forever. Yeah. They may be a lifelong friend, but you have to seek it. You have to seek it. And I'm going to leave this out here again. I did it on my podcast. I'm going to do it again. My email is davidthespeaker@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
davidthespeaker@gmail.com. If you are really going through some things, I may not have all the answers. And sometimes I may have to point you to someone who does have the answers. But if you need help, if you need somebody to talk to you, you need to get stuff off your chest. You need to just vent. You need to send a vent email. Like, hey, don't respond to this. I just need to vent.
Yeah, that's good.
Yo,
I like that.
Send it to me.
That. A vent email.
I'll read it.
Wow. That's
and you
good.
got it out. You got it off your chest. And it will stay there.
Wow.
And you know where it's going to go? To my prayer room.
Wow. That's good. That's good, bro. That's good. A vent email.
The point is
to talk before you do it.
There are people here who I care. I could be complete. You may not know me from the pot. What's the saying? I don't know what the saying is. You probably know what the saying is, but you may not even know me. You're watching this. You may not know me. I don't care.
Who cares about that? Yeah.
I care about you. The Bible calls for me to love. Love. That's it. It doesn't say. It's not a specific person or specific people. It calls us for me to love, and I'm going to love you. He's going to love you.
Absolutely.
And you could reach out to Calvin.
You can reach out
to Calvin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we're here.
Yeah.
We're brothers. We love you. We care. And I don't care what part of you. I got a friend right now who lives in Germany. We chop it up all the time. Wow. We got different time zones. We chop it up all the time. Sometimes I'm going through things, and I got to talk to him like, yo, I need some help. He's like, I got you, bro.
That's good stuff, man. Listen, give him your email once again.
davidthespeaker@gmail.com.
And mine's is get2tothepoint. Get to the point with me @gmail.com. Again, get2tothepoint with me @gmail.com.
We'll put all that information in the bio.
It'll be all at the bottom of your screen and different things. But I think the point is to reach out to somebody. But I like what you said. I don't only think I never even heard of that. A vent email. I just need to vent and just put it all out there. Blah, 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 blah. That it doesn't need to be shared with anybody. We'll take that, go right in our prayer room and begin to pray.
That's it.
And if you want us to respond, we respond. But if it's just I just need to get this out. And that's it, man.
And
you know how much that would help you?
Nope.
You know how much that would help?
Yep.
No judgment. You know how much that would help? You could be able to come out with whatever it is that you need to say. And man, like, yo, and then of course it will be that great covenant relationship where, you know, you could be able to say what you have to say, and then you have somebody that's praying for you.
I'm going to genuinely pray for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
The moment that I sit there and read it, right after I'm reading it, wherever I am, I'm going into prayer.
Right into
I'm
prayer,
not going to even wait.
Right into prayer.
I'm like, Lord, this is what it is. I need you to move on their behalf. Let's
go.
go.
Exactly.
That's what's going to happen.
Exactly.
We need that.
We need that. You need that. I need that. We need that.
We need it.
We need that. I mean, like, you know, again, we're in a relationship. There are times where I call to you and I vent about stuff. I need to get that out because I keep stuff bottled up on the inside, and I'm like, I'm not doing that no more.
No, it can't.
I'm not doing that no more, bro. I'm seriously be like, yo, whatever it is, whatever I'm feeling, I need to talk to somebody. I need to get on the phone right now. Yeah. Hey, what you doing? This, and the great thing that I have, which is great for me, is that if you're busy, I can be able to call another brother. If you know that person,
that's a beautiful thing. That's rare.
Beautiful. It's very rare, but it's a beautiful thing to be able to do. Yeah. Where I can be able to get what I need to talk before I do. Yeah. There's some people that need to talk me off a ledge.
I need to talk before I do. Look, listen. I'm telling you.
I know me.
I know me.
I know.
If we ever get to a point where there is a bottle, I don't have a bottle anymore because I talk so much.
I know it's right.
I don't have it. The bottle is gone. But if it ever gets to the point where there's a bottle again, and the cap is now blown, I'm telling you don't want that. I'm telling you, that's I don't want that.
That's not good.
I don't want that. God has saved me from so much.
I know He has.
God has saved me from so much.
I know He has.
Because that was.
I know.
Yeah, that was bad.
So this segment is called Before the Crisis. This is what this is all about. And this subject tonight, talk
before you do.
Before you do.
Yeah, man.
So there's so many things that we can be able to do. And again, talking with churches and different, and not even just churches, but please create a space where people can just be able to talk. So we got to create it.
Yeah.
If we don't create it, the rates are going to keep going up on suicide, man. Like it's off the charts.
Yeah.
How it is right now.
Yeah.
And you know, and especially post-COVID, it's off the charts.
Yeah.
That's because we don't have a safe place. Yeah. Nobody has a safe place. But please create a safe place. You can reach out to David the Speaker. You can reach out to me. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We're Covenant Brothers, and it's all good. Listen, like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification button so you will always get to the point. Listen, I thank you so much, bro.
Yeah, bro. You already know,
This is a great conversation, man.
Yeah. You're a little long-winded. I'm sorry.
No, but honestly, this is how we are.
Yeah, man.
On a regular basis.
Yeah.
So this is how we are. So it is what it is. Yeah. But I just wanted. I hope this helps somebody. Tonight. So that's the reason. I really hope it helps somebody. Really so listen, comment down below. Let us know. What your feelings were about either about the show or what situation you're going through. You want somebody to pray for you or whatever, or you may have a negative comment. That's fine. I'll take it all. Like we just comment down below, and I'll respond to the best of my ability. I'll respond to it. But listen, thank you so much for watching. Get to the point. I will see you next time right here at the same place. God bless.